Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through all the noise and get straight to what really matters in trucking today. It's a constantly shifting landscape, isn't it?
Yeah.
More than just miles. It's navigating these economic changes, the environmental stuff, and those big policy debates hitting your life on the road. Okay, let's unpack this.
Exactly. And that's what we're trying to do here. We've gathered, a whole stack of sources, industry reports, news from the yard, chatter from experienced drivers themselves. The idea is to pull out the key insights, help you see the bigger picture, and understand how all these different stories actually impact your work, your future. If we connect this to the bigger picture, well, you'll see why staying informed is probably your best tool right now.
Absolutely, and we want to do it in a way that's, easy to digest. Show different sides, link things together. Ultimately, we want you, the driver, to feel respected, supported, and basically armed with knowledge. Knowledge to manage your time better, not just for the shippers, right, but for yourself. Hervey from Life, as a trucker, talks about this a lot, seeing issues from all angles, building your own resilient future. So let's dive right in. The economy, it's hitting hard, and job security is a real concern. The American Transportation Research Institute, ATRI, their 2025 Ops Cost Report just came out. The headline figure, truckload carriers averaged a negative 2.3% operating margin.
Yeah, negative 2.3. So for people not totally buried in spreadsheets, that means on average, fleets are actually losing money running loads, about 2 cents lost for every dollar earned.
Well, running at a loss.
Yeah.
And it's not just fuel prices anymore, is it?
No, not at all. The report really highlights these skyrocketing non-fuel costs. Driver wages are up, which is good in some ways, but maintenance, financing new equipment, and especially insurance premiums, they're crushing.
And it hits the smaller guys harder, right? The difference between contract rates and the spot market.
Definitely. Smaller fleets feel it most. They're often more exposed to those volatile spot market rates, while the bigger guys might have more stable contracts. But even those contracts are under pressure. What's fascinating here is how everyone sees this squeeze differently.
How so?
Well, you talk to fleet owners, and they're saying things like survival mode. Just trying to keep trucks moving, feeling like there's no money in it anymore. It's grim. But then drivers, it's a mixed bag. Some are getting raises, but others, they're seeing bonuses cut or fewer miles offered. And you hear the conversation shifting. It used to be all fuel costs this, fuel costs that. Now it's insurance is killing us.
Right. And the brokers are stuck in the middle, I guess.
Totally stuck. Shippers want rock bottom rates. Carriers need higher rates to cover these costs. Brokers are trying to make it work. And the analysts, they're debating if this is just a temporary blip, a market correction, or if we're heading for more significant fleet closures.
That ties directly into some big news, doesn't it? Daimler Truck North America Freightliner, Western Star laying off 2,000 workers.
Yeah, across 5 plants in the U.S. and Mexico, that's significant.
The reason they gave was weak demand for new Class 8 trucks and basically too much inventory sitting around unsold. They're calling them temporary layoffs, but still, that's a lot of uncertainty for those workers in North Carolina, Oregon, Mexico.
Absolutely. And this raises an important question. What's the ripple effect? How's the rest of the industry reacting?
What are you hearing?
Well, for the factory workers, sadly, many probably saw it coming as orders slowed down. Still a major blow to the paycheck, obviously. But drivers and fleets, they're looking at the price tag on a new rig, maybe $180,000, and thinking, why would I buy that when freight rates barely cover coffee? So a lot of them are holding off on upgrades, trying to make their current trucks last longer.
It really feels like a canary in the coal mine situation.
It does. You've got soft freight volumes overall. Used truck prices have tanked like almost 40% off their peak prices. Even the big fleets are quietly trimming their expansion plans. They're not buying as many new trucks as they planned.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener, the driver?
Okay, practical takeaways. If you work in one of those plants or a related supplier, maybe polish up the resume, just in case. If you're thinking of buying a truck, especially used, you might see better deals soon. But be really careful. Check maintenance records, make sure you're not buying someone else's neglected problem. And if you're a company driver or owner-up, watch what your company or your main brokers are doing. Tighten the budget a bit. These big economic waves always reach the shore eventually. And it circles back to Hervey's point, right? Building that personal resilience, maybe a plan B, becomes even more critical when things are this unpredictable.
Okay, so from economic storms, let's shift gears to actual storms. Mother Nature. We saw that recent flash flooding in the Northeast just create absolute chaos.
Oh yeah, that was bad. 4 to 6 inches of rain in just hours.
Shutting down major routes, I-78, I-95, I-287. Drivers were reporting, entire lanes closed, exits completely flooded, saw pictures of soaked pallets, drivers stuck. Just a mess.
And the impact on drivers is immediate, isn't it? Your HOS clock is ticking.
But your wheels aren't turning.
Yeah.
Exactly. That clock keeps running down your legal driving time, even if you're parked on the shoulder waiting for water to recede. That's lost pay, plain and simple.
And it highlights so many different angles of the problem.
It really does. You had truckers saying they saw a box truck literally floating. Others waited 6 hours just for a detour route. Dispatchers, absolute nightmare. A domino effect, trying to reroute dozens, maybe hundreds of trucks, flipping load boards. Dock workers couldn't unload because trucks couldn't get there. Or maybe the pallets were already soaked.
Yeah.
Brokers were scrambling, canceling loads, maybe having to pay detention or extra fees.
And technology sometimes doesn't help. I heard some GPS apps were still sending trucks towards closed roads. Yeah, that happens. It really underscores the value of, believe it or not, the CB radio sometimes. Or just having a really good dispatcher who's on top of things, feeding you real-time info. The cost is real. Extra fuel burned idling or detouring, and less pay because you're not making miles. And the key takeaway here is storms like this, they're not really rare anymore. Climate change means we're seeing more extreme weather events. This is becoming part of the job.
So what can drivers do? Any practical tips?
Definitely. First, always check the state DOT website's 511 systems before you head into an area with predicted bad weather. Use a good weather alert app like MyRadar. Keep a basic flood kit in the truck. Waterproof boots are a lifesaver. Backup power for your phone. Extra water, snacks, clean socks. Sounds basic, but makes a huge difference if you're stuck. And maybe the biggest thing, try to plan your time smarter if you can. If you know a big rain system is coming Thursday afternoon, can you stack your deliveries to get out of that zone before it hits? Proactive planning helps.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift from weather to another evolving force. Electric vehicles in trucking. We saw ZM Trucks introduce a new battery electric terminal tractor, the T75.
Right, the yard dogs. These aren't for the highway. They're the trucks you see moving trailers around in ports, warehouse yards, distribution centers, kind of the unsung heroes of logistics.
And this one's all electric, zero emissions, designed for that slow speed, high torque work, focusing on North America.
Yep. And this kind of announcement always gets people talking. You hear it in the yard, the office, the driver lounge. Lots of different views.
Like what?
Well, you've got the environmental folks saying, great, it's about time. Cleaner air in those busy yards is a big plus for everyone working there. Then you talk to the veteran yard guys, the ones actually doing the work. Some are skeptical. A battery in the middle of summer heat, shuffling trailers for 12 hours straight. I don't know. They worry about reliability under pressure.
And the float managers.
They're interested. Potential maintenance savings are appealing. No oil changes, fewer moving parts. But they're also crunching the numbers on battery life. How long till it needs replacing? That's a huge cost. Green investors see potential if the trucks prove durable. But the bottom line is the industry ultimately doesn't care about good intentions. It cares about results under pressure. Can these electric yard trucks really handle the constant hard use day in, day out?
And the charging infrastructure needs to be there too, right? In a busy yard.
Exactly. Can you get enough chargers installed? Can they charge fast enough during shift changes or breaks? How long does a battery really last over a full demanding shift? These are the practical hurdles. And that's just for yard trucks. For long-haul electric, even bigger questions remain about battery weight, cutting into payload, range anxiety, and the sheer impact on the power grid if thousands of trucks plugged in. Lots to figure out still.
Okay, let's move on to policy, and specifically the power of drivers speaking up. We saw a big win recently. The DOT officially scrapped its proposed speed limiter mandate.
Huge news. Yeah, that was years in the making. Years of drivers protesting, providing feedback, groups lobbying hard against it.
And there's even a bill now, the D-Drive Act, moving through Congress to try and block federal mandates permanently. Here's where it gets really interesting.
It is interesting. Because this win shows what happens when different voices come together. Most truckers are saying, finally, it's about time. They felt limiters would just slow them down, create dangerous speed differences between trucks and cars, and kill their productivity, their earnings.
And lawmakers backing the Drive Act frame it as safety and freedom.
Right. But then you had safety groups like the ATA who weren't happy. They argued limiters reduce crash severity and cut emissions, so definite disagreement there. But for a lot of owner-operators, independent drivers, they saw it differently. They felt it wasn't really about safety, it was about control. Maybe a way for bigger fleets or the government to squeeze out the little guy.
So it was more than just a speed cap debate.
Oh, much more. It became a real battleground over driver independence, fleet consolidation fears, and, frankly, government reach. And honestly, it feels like a win for the individual driver. It showed Washington did listen this time, and you listening right now, you probably played a part. There were over 15,000 comments submitted on that rule, and the vast majority were negative. Your voice mattered. Seriously.
That's powerful. And that success leads directly to a new opportunity for drivers to speak up. The DOT wants input on America's next-gen freight strategy.
Yes, this is crucial right now. They're projecting freight tonnage to grow something like 50% by 2050. 50%.
Wow, that's massive growth.
It is. So we desperately need to rethink infrastructure, technology, policies, how we invest in the whole system. They're looking at smarter tech, fixing aging roads and bridges, making supply chains more resilient, dealing with climate impacts, the whole 9 yards.
And why is it so important for drivers to weigh in on this?
This raises an important question. What future do you want? Because there are two paths here. Path 1. Truckers speak up. What could go right? We could see more real funding for truck parking. We all know how badly that's needed. Upgrades to those bottleneck corridors. Technology designed with the driver in mind, not against them. Policies that actually reflect life on the road. It's a rare chance for the folks who actually do the work to shape the strategy.
And path 2, if drivers stay silent.
Well, what could go wrong? The suits, the lobbyists, the tech companies, they'll dominate the conversation. And maybe in 10 years, you're wondering why your favorite rest stop got paved over for something else. Or why autonomous trucks seem to be everywhere without drivers having had much say. Or why new electric mandates make it impossible for small fleets to compete. Or why that same stretch of I-80 still has the same potholes from 20 years ago.
So how can people comment? Does it need to be formal?
Not at all. No legal language needed. Just be yourself. Say who you are, a driver, owner, op, whatever. What problems do you see every day? What needs fixing? What are your suggestions? Even just a short paragraph about parking or road conditions or detention time, it makes an impact. Add your voice. It's critical.
So what does this all mean? We've covered a lot: the economy putting the squeeze on, Mother Nature throwing curveballs, new tech debates, policy wins, and new opportunities. It feels like a lot is coming at drivers from all directions.
It really does. And that brings us back to that core message from Hervey at Life as a Trucker. You have to see these issues from all angles, understand how they connect, and maybe most importantly, you need to manage your time not just for the load planner or the shipper, but manage time for yourself, for your own future.
Because these challenges aren't going away.
Exactly. Market downturns, extreme weather, company closures, or layoffs. These seem to be happening more often or hitting harder. Relying solely on the next load, the next paycheck from one source, it's getting riskier. That's why having a plan B, whether it's a side business, learning a new skill, maybe exploring digital income streams, is more important than ever. It's about building your own safety net.
And that's where resources like lifeaseverytrucker.com come in.
Precisely. They offer practical training, like using AI tools, something anyone can learn to potentially create extra income online. Building some recurring income, even small at first, acts like a shield against those freight rate swings we talked about. It gives you options. Maybe the option to retire when you decide, not when the market forces you out. Or just cushion the blow if your company hits hard times. Look, drivers are absolutely essential. You deserve respect. And taking proactive steps to plan your future, that's how you feel supported, feel in control, no matter what the industry throws at you next.
So we've dug deep into how all these forces are hitting your daily life. But hopefully we've also highlighted ways you can not just cope, but actually take control and thrive.
Right. So maybe here's a final thought to chew on as you roll down the road. This industry is all about constant movement, constant change. How can you use your downtime, your time off the road, strategically? How can you use that time to build a future that gives you the ultimate freedom, the freedom of choice, no matter which way the economic winds blow or what new technology comes along?
Something to think about. We hope this deep dive gave you some useful insights and maybe a little boost of empowerment. Thanks for tuning in. Stay safe out there and keep learning.